As you know, in my last video, part of what I talked about were those poor, pathetic dudes that get all upset because they're not part of an abortion decision by their girlfriends or wives, or they felt regret that the women got them and so forth, you know, all that shit. And you know, and I said that I didn't have any sympathy for them, and I don't. And I don't care how many MRA trollish channels try to take issue with it. I don't respond to them, and I never will, because I don't do response videos of YouTubers, just like as I've done in my blog for many years that I've had it, 20 years. I never get into a pissing match with another blogger. Or on Substack, same thing. I don't get into pissing matches. I'm not going to start now, because they have their view, and you're entitled to believe a bunch of bullshit that you think you have a right. You think you have a right to control women, which you don't. If you're a dude, you don't have a right to do it. And yeah, if any of them are thinking, well, she has the baby, well, why should I have to pay child support? Well, you know, think about all this stuff before you put your dick in. Think about all of that before you do it. That things may not go your way. You know, throw your freaking entitlement out the window and maybe start seeing women as human. Maybe do that, but I know that's asking too much. Alright, but anyway, enough of that. I don't comment on other channels, and I don't give a shit about what men think about it. And MRAs especially. But this is why women should never tell, if they're not sure how a man's going to react, they should never tell a man he's getting or she's getting an abortion. She should never do it. And here it is. Here's a perfect example. And this just happened. So this woman who was 26 years of age, her name was Gabriela Gonzalez. She was shot in the head in a parking lot by Harold Thompson, 22, shortly after she shrugs off his chokehold. So we have an abuser here. And she didn't want the abuser's baby. Okay? And it's proof that he's an abuser, okay? It's obvious. And he killed her. He was jailed, and undoubtedly this guy was pro-life. He was so pro-life he decided to kill her. Definitely irony impaired. Anyway, she went out of state. So Texas banned abortions after roughly 6 weeks of pregnancy in September 2021. But nearly all abortions have been halted in Texas since Roe v. Wade was overturned last summer, except in cases of a medical emergency. Gabriela Gonzalez was with her boyfriend, Harold Thompson, 22, in a Dallas parking lot Wednesday when he tried to put her in a chokehold, according to an arrest warrant affidavit. She had returned from Colorado the night before. It is believed that the suspect was the father of the child, well, there was no child, of the whatever embryo, the affidavit said. The suspect did not want Gonzalez to get an abortion. Well, too bad, so sad. Too bad. She didn't want your baby, and there's probably a good reason why she didn't. Surveillance video from the parking lot shows Gonzalez shrugs him off, police said, and the two continue walking. Thompson then pulls out a gun and shoots Gonzalez in the head. She falls to the ground, and Thompson shoots her multiple times before running away, the affidavit said. Thompson was arrested later Wednesday and is being held in the Dallas County Jail without bond. Court records did not list an attorney who could speak on his behalf. Oh, geez. And you know there will be. He'll probably get a public defender. Gonzalez's sister was at the scene and heard the shooting, the police said. Another witness saw Thompson try to choke Gonzalez, but couldn't call police because she did not have her cell phone. At the time of the shooting, Thompson had been charged with assault of a family member who had accused him of choking her in March. But obviously he's a violent man. I mean, goes without saying. And this, again, you can't have men having veto power over women. It's just You know, it's just, you can't. It's up to the woman to decide. And an idiot like this commits murder in Texas, they don't fart around when it comes to the death penalty. He may get it. They might get him for manslaughter or second-degree murder since he was upset. You know, crime of passion or whatever. But, yeah, you can't, you know, you can't ever have men have control of women. Not ever. It should never be. Never should be. And then there was this hilarious thing from the Daily Mail. And it says here, yeah, I talked about this the other day. I mentioned that most people oppose surgical butchery, medical quackery on kids. Because once people understand what this movement's about, there's no way in hell they would support it. There's no way in hell they would support sexual fetishes in women's spaces, and male cheaters in women's sports, and little kids having, or young kids having their body parts chopped off in order to enrich the health industry, the medical industry, or the pharmaceutical industry. I mean, this stuff should not be allowed at all. Absolutely not allowed. And so Democrats have been barking up the wrong tree for a long time, but you know they're getting a lot of money, these politicians especially. They're getting a lot of dark money. The right is not the only one getting the dark money, but they're getting dark money from billionaires and stuff, and especially the cross-dresser types and other degenerates, thanks to Citizens United. So it affects both political parties, and it's really all got to stop. So, yeah, and I think once the public really understands what especially the men are all about, no way in hell it's going to come back hard, and it needs to come back hard on this movement. So anyway, that was like 2 articles today, but I couldn't help but think about this one. And so MRAs of the world, I will not even waste my time with you. So don't, you know, I mean, you can comment on my vids, I don't care, but I'm not responding to any individual about it, because first of all, I probably have lived a lot longer than you, so I've seen a lot of stuff and know quite a bit. I don't know everything, but I'm not afraid to do the research. And the fact of the matter is, you don't own women, and women don't owe you anything. And women also over here, they don't, and kids don't owe sexual fetishes anything. So that's it.